On December 25, 1991, the world watched as the most powerful communist country in history collapsed following the resignation of Mikhail Gorbachev. Mikhail Sergeyevich Gorbachev, or Mikhail Gorbachev, was the first president of the Soviet Union. He was born on March 2, 1931 in Privolonye, Russia.
Mikhail Gorbachev was born into a peasant family. In his teenage years, Gorbachev had already contributed to the family's income by driving tractors. Graduating with a degree in law and then joining the Communist Party, he rose onto the ranks of the first secretary of regional by being very active in the organization back at Stavropol. In 1971, Gorbachev was acknowledged as a Central Committee member of the Soviet Union's Communist Party. He was assigned a secretary seat at Agriculture, probably because of his past achievement in agriculture by receiving order of the Red Banner of Labor, which signifies his excellency in contributing to the Soviet state. In the early 1960s, communists have been convinced that communism was better than capitalism. They believe communist states would soon produce more goods than in the USA and Western Europe. However, in the 1980s, communism failed to give high living standards. Most people in the Soviet Union and Eastern Europe were much poorer than the Western Europe. In 1980s, Soviet farming had failed. Although they had rich land, they could not produce enough food for the people. The only way to keep up with the USA in the Cold War is to allocate a huge proportion of national income to weapons and the space race. This caused the Soviets to suffer even lower living standards. Since the Soviet economy worsened, the cost of the Cold War became more unbearable. They were not able to manufacture weapons or keep up with the space race as the Soviet economy continues to plummet.
Under the leadership of Brezhnev, there were a lot of corruption. It was known that Brezhnev and his family was corrupt. This led to the widespread of corruption in the Soviet Union, poor allocation of resources and manpower, as well as goods made development of technology and the economy difficult. After Brezhnev's death, the situation has not yet stabilized. In fact, it has further escalated. Brezhnev's successors were as corrupt as him, which made the Soviet economy decay gradually over the years. Although it can be speculated that the corruption from big political figures ended by the election of Gorbachev's predecessor, Konstantin Cherenko. The roots of corruption, though, are still present until Gorbachev's reign.
Nonetheless, Gorbachev had a huge goal in mind, and that is to end traditional hardline communist ideologies and end the Cold War. He starts the process by building a warm relationship with the US President Ronald Reagan and decided to collaborate to end the Cold War.
On April 26, 1989, the US-Soviet relations took a major hit when a nuclear power plant exploded in Ukraine. During the 1985 summit in Geneva, and the October 1986 Reykjavik summit, the two leaders' strain was evident. Both disagreed over the development of the Strategic Defense Initiative. However, at the end, Gorbachev gave in to Reagan's argument. At that time, Soviets were having an economical crisis, which, despite of Gorbachev's economic reforms, it's not working.
In December 1987, US and Soviet decided to sign an agreement for their two countries to destroy all existing stocks of intermediate-range nuclear-tipped missiles, and in 1988 to 1989, the Soviet troops are withdrawn from Afghanistan. Gorbachev's key political reforms were to have a more democratic election system. He organized an election for Communist Party members to run against the non-party members. March 15, 1990, Gorbachev was elected to be the first president of the Soviet Union. While running as a president, Gorbachev promoted more peaceful relations to other countries. However, not everyone agreed to these ideas, especially Yeltsin, who was voted to be the president of the Russian Republic. Seeing the fall of the Berlin Wall, Gorbachev started to withdraw troops from all of the Eastern Europe, and one by one, Soviet states fell. The Balkan states had also tried to become free from communist ironclads. Communism was dying, and the final nail in the coffin was when Russia, the heart of the Soviet Union, also decided to become a sovereign republic, free from communism. In desperation, Gorbachev reverted back to traditional communism and sent in tanks to discourage protesters.
This made Gorbachev's opposition Boris Yeltsin even more trusted, and by December 25, 1991, Gorbachev stepped down from his position. The Russian Republic was born, and the Soviet Union had passed on to history books and documentaries all over the world.